All right, let's talk about a classic problem. You need to get inside people's heads, get some real, qualitative feedback, but then you hit that fork in the road. Do you send out a big survey, or do you sit down for a few in-depth interviews? It seems simple, but this choice can make or break your entire project. So today, we are going to break it all down.
First up, let's get into what's known as the researcher's dilemma. And you know, this isn't just for fancy academic researchers. This is for all of us who, at some point, become accidental researchers, just trying to figure something out for a project. It's that moment you know you need answers, but you're just not sure which path will get you there.
So, let me ask you this. Have you ever kicked off a project and just had that little voice in the back of your head saying, wait, am I even using the right tool for this? It's a huge question, because getting it wrong doesn't just give you messy data. It can send your whole team running in the completely wrong direction.
Because that's what this is all about, right? We're trying to understand people. But the tool you pick completely changes the kind of understanding you're going to get. It's kind of like being a detective. Do you need to canvass the entire neighborhood for a few quick clues? Or do you need to sit down with that one key witness and get the whole detailed story?
And here's the fundamental trade-off, laid out bare. With open-ended surveys, you get massive scale. We're talking breadth. You can hear from hundreds of people pretty quickly. But the catch? The interaction is asynchronous. You send it out, they send it back. There's no back and forth, which means the context you get is pretty limited. Now, interviews are the complete opposite. You give up that scale, but what you get in return is depth. It's a real-time conversation, which lets you uncover all this rich, amazing context that you'd otherwise miss.
Okay, so let's zoom in on our first tool, the good old survey. It might seem basic, but in certain situations, a survey is an absolute rock star. So let's talk about when surveys really shine.
I love this metaphor. Think of a survey as your wide-angle lens. You're not trying to capture the tiny details on a single flower petal. Nope. You're trying to capture the entire, sprawling landscape in one single shot. It's all about getting that big, panoramic view from a huge crowd all at the same time. So when do you reach for that wide-angle lens? Well, there are 4 perfect scenarios. 1, you need answers from a ton of people, like yesterday. A survey is your best friend. 2, you want to spot patterns across a diverse group of people who all went through the same thing. 3, the topic is a little sensitive. The anonymity of a survey can make people feel way more comfortable sharing honestly. And 4, let's be real. Sometimes you're just short on time and money. Surveys give you incredible bang for your buck.
But, and there's always a but, right? That wide-angle view, as great as it is, comes with some serious trade-offs. For every single strength, there's a flip side, and you've got to know what you're giving up.
And here's the big risk. What you gain in scale, you lose in clarity. You get a really confusing answer from someone, and that's it. You can't ask, hey, what did you mean by that? You're just left guessing. Or even worse, you get those dreaded one-word answers, or people just skip the open-ended questions altogether. And you're left with a dataset that's a mile wide, but only an inch deep.
So if a survey can leave you with shallow data, how do you go deep? Well, that brings us to the other side of the coin, the power of the interview. This is where we trade all that breadth for some glorious, glorious depth.
So, if the survey was our wide-angle lens, the interview is our super powerful zoom lens. This is where we lock onto one single person and zoom all the way in. We're capturing the texture, the nuance, the little details that are just totally invisible from far away.
See, an interview is a living, breathing conversation. It's your chance to probe when someone says something interesting. It's your chance to adapt your questions on the fly when the conversation takes an unexpected turn. It's how you explore the incredible richness of someone's actual lived experience. It's how you get past the what and really start to understand the why.
That's why this zoom lens is absolutely perfect for those messy, complex, layered topics. You know, anytime you're trying to untangle a complicated human problem or a confusing user journey, you need the freedom to follow those interesting little threads wherever they might lead. For that job, nothing beats an interview.
Okay, so we've covered the what, when, and why for both methods. But now it's time to pull back and look at the bigger picture here. Because this choice you're making, it's about way more than just logistics. And here it is. If you take away just one thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Choosing between a survey and an interview is not just a logistical decision. It's not about what fits in your calendar. It is a fundamental, analytical choice. The tool you pick at the very beginning dictates the kind of truth you can even find at the end.
I mean, think about it. Your choice literally puts a boundary around your results. One method leads you to broad, sweeping patterns. The other leads you to deep, personal stories.
The path you choose fundamentally shapes the nuance, the depth, and the ultimate meaning of what you find.
So as we wrap this up, let's bring it back to you. Your next project is sitting there waiting. Before you write a single question, before you book a single meeting, just stop and ask yourself, what kind of answers do I truly need? Do I need that wide-angle snapshot of the many, or do I need that detailed close-up of the few? Because your answer to that one question changes everything.